we go. Hey, everyone. How's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with podcast number 273 with Dan Williams, who's in all caps over there, CEO of Figpin. On 2026, there's revenues, VeVe, OMI, collecting. We have some giveaways and more. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. And happy 2026. It's crazy that we're in this year now. It feels very surreal. When you first started with Figpin, jump right in. When did you get into it? Did you start off just as a customer? Did you start off with buying it? How did you go about buying it?
No, Figpin actually was my invention. It's an idea I had in my head in 2013 when I was working at a different company. I had this kind of vision for, kind of pins that could stand up and be displayed, the hard enamel style. At the time I was working actually on a video game called Watch Dogs by Ubisoft. And I had this vision of the main character, Aiden Pierce, of being kind of this enamel pin. And I wanted to do something with a backer that would be like one piece that could like stand it and pin it kind of all in one. So that's really kind of where the idea was planted in my head. In 2014, December, I started a company with a partner, Travis, called China Manufacturing Direct. It was a name that Travis had already had started. And so we basically split the company 50-50. I was really the business development end and Travis was the operational end. And at that time, we were really like a manufacturing product development agency for other people. Matter of fact, I always bring this because this was the first product that we made. So if you guys remember this, at that time we were doing a lot of kind of like custom design and manufacturing for ThinkGeek. Another client, Jinx, who's no longer in business, did a lot of work in like video games with Minecraft, that type of thing. EB Games, some toy brands. So we made a variety of types. Matter of fact, some of the first loot crates, Loot Crate started doing kind of the themed loot crates, like a Fallout loot crate and a Mass Effect loot crate. We helped put all those together kind of originally, at China Manufacturing Direct. As the team grew in that OEM business, I had an artist come on, Eric Haldy, and we started to work on a couple pin projects, one for Street Fighter, one for Star Trek. And I told him of my idea for the kind of stand-up pins. He dug it. He loved doing the line work for enamel pins, and the Street Fighter ones we made were really fun. And we started kind of like messing around with size and paper dolling stuff, and so it's kind of a side thing that we worked on. And we made the first one, Altair, from Assassin's Creed as a prototype, March of 2016, and it's like, oh shit, this looks really cool. And so we just kind of like journeyed into it. We went to a licensing show in May, and there we signed AC/DC and Kiss, and we signed a video game called Mass Effect Andromeda, and we signed Dragon Ball Z, right? I think like this goes back to the Dragon Ball Z, and yep. We had a meeting with Funimation. They blew us off. So we were standing outside the Toei Animation booth, and we saw the picture of Goku, and I was like, well, I don't know, let's just go in here and see what happens. And so, the woman that was inside the booth, Lisa Yamatoya, loved what we were doing. And so, anyways, put us back in touch with Funimation. We ended up securing the license. And matter of fact, the Super Saiyan Goku Figpin number 2 was really the first commercial Figpin put out into the market in February 2017 in a loot box style thing at Best Buy, The first Figpin was the only one that wasn't serial numbered. It was a Mike Piazza 300 units for Loot Crate that I think is probably in someone's closet. It was an internal pitch that Loot Crate was making to the Mets owner at the time for sports crates, and so that's kind of the history and kind of how it started.
So you obviously came up with Figpin and the parent company of it. Were you guys absorbed? Do you own part of the parent company of CMD Collectibles?
No, CMD Collectibles is still going. I own CMD Collectibles, and so we spun Figpin into its own corporation. So 4 owners, Eric Haldy, Amato Bator, and Travis Oliver. And so Figpin Collect Awesome Inc. was the name, launched in 2019. We just changed the name to Collect Awesome Inc. A little bit earlier this year. And so under Collect Awesome Inc., now you have Figpin as a brand, you have our new Format Fusion as a brand, you have CyberCell as a brand, and you have our new platform Gamers Redemption.
So we had the last time we had you on, it was a while ago, was actually 2024. We obviously caught up in 2025 at Comic-Con. And were you in DesignerCon?
I did. I missed you, but okay. I came down to DesignerCon on Sunday. So
yeah, I think we were dead by Sunday.
It looked like it, you know. I saw some of the VeVe crew. It was fun to see them. And I watched the panel on Phygital. You know, I thought that was interesting with kind of the conversations about physical to digital, you know, right there.
Yeah, that was so again, we last time in 20, I think it was late 2024. It was just after Comic-Con. 2025, where a lot of us in the Web3 crypto world were expecting, okay, Trump's president, he's going to be pro crypto, stuff's going to rocket. We're going to have this blow off top. And then the tariffs came, and that destroyed everything, whether it's physical stuff, digital stuff. At least it did in all the areas that I was operating in, whether it was Pokemon cards, whether it was crypto. I imagine the physical stuff, because of the tariffs, probably took a hit. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys survive? Because we see companies in Web3 fall all the time.
Yes.
How'd you guys...
God, man, it's been an interesting year. So it's a little bit of a blur, but if I go back, you know, January, 0 tariff, and then it kind of went to 10%. And at 10%, you're like, huh, do we reprice things or do we kind of keep pricing the same? You know, but pretty much business is normal. And I think, you know, retailers kind of expected brands to keep pricing the same. So brands were kind of extra hard to figure that out. But then quickly it went to 20%. Then at 20%, you're like, oh, I got to have a conversation about this because I can't absorb 20%, right? So that kind of started.
Even at 10%, I'm surprised you didn't pass off half of that to a healthy consumer. But you just ate the whole
thing. You looked at like different ways you could do it. You know what I mean? So maybe in different channels, you know, you inched it up a little bit. Yeah. But it happened pretty quick, you know, with 10 to 20 to, I believe, 30 or 40. And then it went to 145%. And you're like, dude, 145%. And the one thing about tariffs that probably most people don't know unless you're in the business is when you import, you know, a product from China, our products are made in China, and it clears customs, like the U.S. government actually takes it right out of your checking account. So they're taking the duties and tariffs right out of the checking account before you actually have a chance to get it to market, sell it, that kind of a thing. So very disruptive, you know, to your cash flow and kind of how the business runs. So with our card product, CyberCell, basically at 145%, we just didn't have a sellable item. So I made a pivot the next day, you know, look for a way to manufacture domestically. That led me to an introduction to a gentleman named Russ Foster, who now sits as COO on our team. He came from Pokemon. So he spent the last 25 years as the Senior Global Director of Manufacturing at Pokemon. There you go, man. There you go. And so, you know, that took us down a path of working closely with a manufacturer here in the States. And we have some exciting things coming out in the card space. And you know, and that really led to the invention of Fusion. If, you know, when we were in the factory, I had this vision of, you know, embedding a pin into a card. And so, you know, I took a few Fig pins. One of them was Dark Magician Girl. And you'll see here that like this was actually a Fig pin where we chopped off the backs of it. And then we work with the manufacturer to embed it. And you have the holofoils in here. And then the back, you know, this is a little kind of Figpin-esque, but it has the QR code for, you know, it can be a digital twin, you know, kind of thing, had a numbering system and everything. And so that was kind of a showpiece that we had to show and tell. So we didn't know what unit economics were. We didn't know how we were going to mass manufacture it. Like we're kind of exploring new territory. But you know, one of the benefits of our situation with the tariffs kind of led to innovation in a really fun way. And so that comes back to the last show, you know, the Whatnot live selling show, you know, with the VeVe crew. And this was, you know, the launch piece that we did at New York Comic-Con with Toei Animation. When they saw our prototype, they loved it. They wanted this for an event they're hosting during New York Comic Con. God, it was downtown in one of the museums where they had a big one-piece experiential, kind of piece, and it was given to VIPs. And so this was the official packaging for that piece, and it had kind of like the the LE 150. This is kind of it on the inside, and then they're all numbered, kind of 1 to 150. And then aside from that, we made 150 of the black ones that you saw on the show, and these are meant to be giveaways, kind of in lead up to our kind of official release, this year with kind of a wider distribution. So we're really excited about it. We've made some great progress on now kind of dialing in where we're going to manufacture. The unit economics look great on it. And we think we have something very exciting. And on our socials this morning, we announced a partnership with CGC. How you doing? With CGC. They're really excited about. So you can see like here, it's an example of like a gradable, just kind of example of CGC. Right?
Oh, I love that.
I don't know. It seems like my screen's blurry. I don't know if you guys are seeing that clearly.
There we
go. That's a little better. Okay. That's
we all know what Dark Magician Girl looks like. We love her.
And then here's one that's, this is like authenticated by CGC, and this one was going to be a below an 8. So there's like, we won't grade it because, but we'll case it and show it and, that kind of thing. So we're really excited about the blend of, what we've done well with Figpin, right? Capturing the dynamic, art in this hard enamel style, for several years now. And now with, Russ's background and skill and kind of what we're learning in the card space, this new product we think is just a super exciting collectible format. So that's a big part of where we see opportunity in 2026. The other product, and I don't know how much the VeVe community knows about this product, but we created a brand called Cybercell. Okay. So Cybercell is these cell art animation style cards. And this is like really kind of an inspiration from products I was selling back in the late 90s. It was, Disney would make like animation cells when they were hand inked as collectibles. And then they would make more mass production versions to use as, items they would sell in retail or gift with purchase items with like a Blu-ray or a DVD, that kind of a thing. That kind of went cold for about 20 years because, the computer started to take over. Things weren't hand inked. The cell art wasn't celebrated kind of in the same way. What I thought would be really cool is with all the Japanese anime coming back into the market, and what I saw with really cool with like trading card techniques with foils, holo foils, all those kinds of things. We took a step in the direction and launched Cybercell kind of July of 2023. And it actually was great timing. I mean, the trading card market really started to pop, and we found home in retail right away. The great thing about trading cards, it has a great infrastructure set up for retail. You go into GameStop now, I mean, the whole wall's there. You go into Target, there's a whole section. You go to Walmart, there's a whole section. You have whole hobby stores, selling trading cards. So we call
Team Rocket mugging you in the parking lot.
Yeah. So these packs that we call this is actually Cybercell 1.0 is kind of like this product that we launched with Five Nights at Freddy's pack. It's like this. The original cells kind of pop out.
The details on the Cybercell. How many per pack?
3.
Okay, and
I'll give you the update though. So that was
okay.
1.0, right? Yeah. 27 cards in a set. Then we moved to what we call 2.0. So actually, these two, for a brief period of time, are 2.0. So One Piece, and then Hello Kitty, and these are bigger sets. So they have 40 base cards. They have parallels. They have redemptions, that kind of a thing. Same kind of format. We're really excited about what we're calling Cybercell 3.0. So Cybercell 3.0 is more of an actual card. So you're seeing kind of a preview of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we'll have vertical cards. We'll have horizontal cards.
Oh no, that's Sokka's dad.
What's that?
Oh no, I thought that was Korra's dad. No, that's Sokka and Katara's dad, right?
Oh, You know, I have to get my glasses, Randy. I can't read his name. Man.
It's all good.
I'll show you. I'll show you a few looks of these. These are just kind of like, you know, initial kind of protos, you know, from the factory. You know, so you can kind of see.
Who chooses the characters to go on there?
Oh, we have a team. We have a team that works with Paramount and then develops the line. You know, goes through all the approvals, that kind of thing. So
you have UA on there. Do you also have, so that's obviously in the first book before she turns into the moon, spoilers. Do you have her as the moon as well?
Man, I'd have to look, you know.
Okay.
I'd have to look, man. You know, here's the, you know, Avatar State, you know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kind of version. But, you know, we're really excited about the way these turn out from a quality perspective. And so in this set, it's 124 cards. There's a whole series of full arts with, you know, tiers of rarity kind of built into it. And again, these will be gradable by CGC, our official grading partner. So that's Cybercell. And yeah, so.
Yeah, people were pumped about the Avatar Cybercells. Dora Mipahola. Oh no, Dora Mipa. Okay, gotcha. I thought that was her name for a second, but I recognize now with that voice exercise. Anyway, they're very excited for that. Love Avatar. We've been waiting forever on VeVe for Avatar type of stuff. Now that we have Paramount, I don't know how long we've had Paramount for. I'm going to guess a couple years, but they weren't able to say anything until last year. Now, hopefully that'll become a reality. Yeah. They are going to do something interesting with Avatar. I don't know what yet. But how do you feel about Paramount potentially strong arming and buying DC and Warner Brothers away from Netflix?
Wait a minute. I thought, is that resolved yet? I thought Netflix was the one that got the deal.
They were supposed to, like, so they apparently struck a deal at like $28 a share, $27 a share or something. And then Paramount's like, F you guys. Larry Ellison just like $33 a share. Let's just buy it from the market. And they're just, oh my God. It was like the most epic display. I don't want to say parentage because he's like their daddy now. Like, but then there's like antitrust or anti-monopoly things coming into suit. So the whole thing's going to take a while to come to fruition for it to close. But yeah, it looks like Paramount's going to win because Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's new news to me. I didn't know that, honestly. Yeah. I saw that Paramount upped their bid, but I don't know. I guess maybe that, you know, who ever knows in the news these days, man, what to believe, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't know, you know, either way, I think someone gets a gem. I mean, we've been a Warner Brothers licensee since 2017. So look, you get Harry Potter with that, you get all of DC with that, you know, you get, you know, kind of the HBO, you know, product suite. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting times, you know.
Game of Thrones, all that. All right, so there's a bunch of questions here. Yeah. AP Fusion Cycles. Then and Mr. MC1 says, Dan, the stuff looks so cool. All right, guys, we doing a fusion card giveaway?
Let's do it. Yeah, look, I got some here. Man. I'm
all right. What type of giveaway?
Planning to share the wealth. Okay. I don't know how you want to do it, Randy. How do you want to do a giveaway? You know. You know, you gave away black ones last time. Well, how about I got a whole kind of packaged up white version here.
Okay, so that's the one piece one we're giving away.
Yeah, the difference between the two is the white ones were made with a silver nickel.
Ooh.
You know, basically. So when you make an enamel pin, right, the last part of the process, or you know, one of the last part of the process is plating. So in the black box, the version in here is black nickel plating. In the white box, this version here is silver nickel plating. So it's just got this really killer. I love this one. It's just got this really killer, you know, kind of look to it. And then again, these are all numbered, you know, 1 to 150, you know, that are on here. So. So you know, these were the ones that went to VIPs at the Toei party, and so we happened to get a kind of a batch that weren't given out. So these are kind of like really exclusive, actually. So, happy to give it to some lucky person on the Randy Chavez show. You know?
Okay, so we're doing the white one piece one, right?
We'll do. How about if we do a white one and we'll do a black one? We'll do two.
Okay, so we'll do two giveaways. One will be a white one. And one will be the black one. And so for this white one, the rules are, I'll ask a question. You guys in the comments have to answer, and it'll happen if, let's say, me and you, Dan, are trying for this, and let's say the question is like, what's 2 + 2? And then we both answer 4, and if we both answer it at the same time, come on, that's not the question, guys. That's not the question. But if we both answer it at the same time, my computer will tell me that I answered first, and your computer will tell you that you answered first. So, but generally, I'm looking at the list, and whoever actually does show up first does show up on my thing. So the rules are, whoever answers it, if it looks like it's a tie, I'll break it. I'll show you guys what it is. I'll take a picture of it. And it's whoever types the name of the answer. So in One Piece, who has no sense of direction? What character? And if you comment down below which character in One Piece has no sense of direction, you're gonna win the white one. And I'd say we'll go about 7 seconds here before we start getting answers. A 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. All right. We got Getty Up with Zoro. We got it. All right. Let's.
Joe, how you doing, Joe? Good to see you, man.
Oh, you know him.
Right. I know him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Boom.
Do you have his information?
This one goes to Getty.
Hmm?
Okay, you got it.
Okay, sweet. Hey, got it. Oh, Mr. MC1 knew? Mr. MC1, do you watch One Piece? Do you read One Piece? I didn't know that. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, let's. Oh yeah, gonna do Legend of Korra too. Okay, so we got. So you guys have Avatar, and you're doing Legend of Korra as well, right?
Well, for Cybercell, I believe we have the rights to do Legend of Korra. Right now, we're focused on Last Airbender.
Okay.
So yeah. So Legend of Korra, possibility, you know.
All right, I'll take that. Have you seen the live action version of Avatar on Netflix?
No, I haven't, but I knew it was extremely popular.
Yeah, it was really good. There was a couple of things that people didn't like, but I really liked it. But then it was like so long between book 1 and book 2, like the seasons. It was really only like 3 years. But Avatar, that looked like a kid. He was like 11, 12 years old, you know, Aang in the first one. Now, even though he's like 15, 16, he looks like he's 19. Like puberty hit this kid like a truck.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing about, it's like the Stranger Things kids. Like they're kind of supposed to be in high school, but they're all like 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, how about that ending, man? Stranger Things. I was like, man. Yeah, and then I pause it and it's like 27 minutes. Like, oh wow, it's not even over yet. Like, it's got more.
When I tell you that I was going through like psychosis because all the theories on TikTok are just like, wait a minute, that why are they wearing orange gowns instead of green? They're supposed to be green gowns because that's how Nancy graduated and everyone. And then it's like, why is everyone sitting like they are like Mr. What's It? Like, why are they sitting like Vecna? Yeah. And a bunch of stuff didn't make sense. So everyone's like, guys, there's a 9th episode. Like, there's going to be a 9th episode. None of this. And I was like, oh my God, there is. And literally it crashed the Netflix servers a few days ago because on January 7th, there was supposed to be another episode 9. And then,
I got a text from my son that was saying that, you know, hey, there's weird stuff glitching on Netflix. So apparently there's a hidden episode coming, you know, so the buzz kind of traveled everywhere, you know,
because if you typed in fake ending, like Netflix like showed Stranger Things, and there's like Slim Jim was commenting on everything. They promoted the series finale on WWE Raw like the week after it appears. Like, why would they do that unless there was a 9th episode? And then everyone was just they were just so mean to the Duffer Brothers on Twitter. They were just telling them to suck their fat ones. It was wild.
That's not good. Actually, I had a Dustin Figpin. I was going to use as a giveaway for this too. I was trying to find it.
Oh, love Dustin.
You know, I'll when we run out of stuff to say, I'll go grab them. You know.
Okay. I mean, I got a bunch of comments, so if you want to go and get that bread, I will.
Okay. Let me go grab them real quick.
All right. Where are we at? Need those? Yeah. We did one Do Re Mi Fa Sol La 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 4 3. We did that before, and we're gonna do another one maybe when he gets back. Yeah, UA is so cool, right? Bro, I don't know. I feel like part of my personality was based off of Avatar, where somebody says something like Sokka. They're like two bros hanging out, and Sokka is just pouring his heart out to Zuko. It's like, my first girlfriend turned into the moon. And fucking Zuko is like, that's rough, buddy. Oh my god, yeah. Freaking love UA. They're gonna do legend. Yeah, they have the right to it. Korra, Mako, dude, Pabu. Pabu would be like my favorite. Pabu's the little firefox. Oh, that's so cool.
This is actually these are some of my favorite fig pins. You know, Eric did these, and you know, just the touch of human characters. You know, the way that they were drawn and the way they were crafted. I mean, they really are little works of art. You know, pretty incredible. Yeah. So, you know, with Stranger Things, man, we should do one. You know,
I'm game. We could do one right now. I was gonna try to get up the rest of the comments first, because I'm sure people are still talking about their their other stuff here. Sound Rap's excited. Got to do Cyberpunk again.
Awesome. Cyberpunk, dude. I totally agree, man. We did a Cybercell set. We actually did Figpins too. But can you imagine, man, like Cyberpunk fusions? They would be so incredible. There's so much potential here, man, with this product. Like, I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of floating a little bit, you know. So
yeah, we got a bunch of collectors in here. Solid Snake is me. Oh, freaking love that. Collect all Cybercells except Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, a little scary. I didn't see the second movie yet. First one, great. Second one, I have not. All right, so we got LOL, no numbers. Okay, sorry. Well, all right. We're gonna do. Let's catch up on some of these comments here. Solid Snake says, GG, woo. Okay. We need an Indian mythology question so I could win. If there was a Indian mythology, do they have? Well, Avatar is a lot of Eastern or a lot of like Asia stuff, right? I feel like Avatar is a lot of. They go through, you know, the meditation and stuff.
Yeah, kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know any of that though. I'm not in that. Entertainment Earth has some listings. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of this stuff. So tell us about the Dustin one. How out of how many were there of him?
Okay, hey, there's a great resource, and we use it all the time internally. But there's a Figpin collector that made a site called Figpin DB, like database. Figpindb.com. Check it out, man. It's gonna blow your mind, because this guy has like cataloged every single Figpin that we've made and broke it down into all kinds of like sortable you know, stuff. Like you can sort by year, you can sort by brand, you can sort by all kinds of things. It's just, I mean, and he's captured a lot of the app info, so it gives a lot of detail about the pin, you know, in the space.
Yeah.
If I could share my screen, I'd show it to you.
I think you can.
Can I?
I think you can. I'm never the one that does it because I'm always the one hosting, but somewhere on your computer, you might have to open another tab, and then, or there could be something on the bottom where it'll say share my screen. If you can, it's not a big deal. Lamp on the bike, kind of, right?
We'll give it a shot.
Love Solid Snake is me saying that's rough, buddy, on the daily. That
okay. Let's see here. Leave studio. No. What's this one? There's a little plus sign here.
Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles are doing a crossover. Oh, that's epic.
Share screen.
The Gargoyles had a crossover with, I think, Fantastic Four, something with Marvel recently, and that was pretty good. I was happy I saw that. Tony Stark comes out of nowhere. Like, I feel like there was no need for him to be in that comic, but it was good. It was good. It came out a few months ago. Stranger Things box set. Oh, I actually, speaking of Stranger Things, bro, they got me. I don't know how like susceptible you are to marketing, but like whenever I'm like it's always want to get out of the gym. It's like the Domino's, when I'm super hungry, the Domino's thing comes out, like the sponsored stuff. I was like, yeah, I need it. But I got Stranger Things soap. It was the guy that plays Murray, and he's just like, yeah, "Are you a dirty little boy?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Soap." And then it's called so I got the Dustin. I got 2 sets of this soap. I don't know why. I got it because it's so freaking cool. Have you figured out the share your screen yet?
Oh, I'm getting text messages here. It says, "Tell me you're doing Darkwing Duck for D23." So,
wait, what about Darkwing Duck for D23?
That's in our line plan for D23, Darkwing Duck.
Oh, epic! That's always August right?
Yeah, August in Anaheim.
Sweet. So I got we got the Vecna's Curse soap. We got the Hellfire Beyond Dustin soap, the Squawk Signal Mom Steve soap, and the Experiment Number 11 soap. You can wash yourself with any of those things. Again, I don't know why I got to. So we're gonna do the giveaway, and the question is going to be, what was Dustin's cat's name? Comment down below. Whoever gets Dustin's cat's name, comment down below, and then you win the Dustin giveaway. And then wait a couple seconds because we know that's how long it takes. It was not Rocky. That's not even close. But you know what? We appreciate you. Oh, Penguin Colada got it. It was Muse. He got it. Oh, good for you, Penguin Colada. Penguin Colada wins the giveaway. So Penguin Colada, message me on X or it was who said Vecna? That's funny. That's great. But I don't care who you are. I still love you. Anyway, Penguin Colada, shoot me a message on X with your mailing address or PO box or shipping address. Ask parents' permission for going online, and we'll get you the Dustin Stranger Things Figpin. That is freaking cool. Okay, where were we after that?
Oh, am I sharing my screen? Oh, there we go.
Oh, this is
okay. There we go. Check it out. This is Figpin DB. So it's a whole kind of database, right? So we were talking Stranger Things. I can kind of go over here to Stranger Things and kind of click on this, and I could tell you that this Dustin Henderson is this one right here. So basically, yep, number 712.
Dusty Bun.
First edition, volume 1,000 units, early 2021, hard case, 132 claimed, 68 claims until second court. There was a second edition of 1,000 units. So, you know, it's kind of fun because you can kind of like get all this kind of like data. Yep, black nickel, sold out, glow in the dark. Oh, this one actually glows in the dark. The
epic.
The little like headlamp on the bike there actually glows in the dark. You know, which is kind of fun. So anyways, if you're interested in Figpin and you kind of want to see what's been created, this is like an incredible resource. You know, we can just go to like Disney and, you know, kind of like you can kind of take a look here of the 469 results of kind of everything that's been created, you know, in the Disney universe here. These right here actually are the Figpins that are given away in the Disney park every day. So if you go to California Adventure at Disneyland, we have this pin right here that's tied to an experience called World of Color. And so when you buy a VIP pass, you get this, and it's what we call a mini fusion. So it's got like a full color, and then there's a certain number that have glitter, and a rare number that have kind of gold and black. And then we did that with Pixar Parade and Oogie Boogie Bash. You know, so it's a fun program that's you know keeps evolving, kind of keeps running. This gets into some of the mystery minis, you know, that have been released in the last 2 years. So yeah, so this is a good tool to kind of go play around with, you know.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love Dusty Bun. Everyone comment F down below to pay respect to Susie because she wasn't in season 5 at all. Spoilers. So we have no idea what happened to her. We can only assume that she got. Anyway, oh, Solid Snake is me. You get that? I haven't used any of them yet. They're collectibles, so I kind of don't want to use them. Anyway, yeah, apparently people are loving the stuff that you got. and they're loving the Darkwing Duck thing that you have at D23. So what's the next thing that you guys are releasing?
The next thing that we're going to release, geez, Randy, honestly, I'd have to kind of go look. I've seen 101 Dalmatians. I know that's coming soon.
Oh. So is it a combination between like, okay, here's Anita, here's Cruella, and then here's Pongo and Purdy?
It'll be like, like a mystery, kind of set, similar to this. So think 101 Dalmatians, and then think the different, kind of releases in there. And so you'll see us lean a lot into Disney, and you'll see us lean a lot into Marvel and Star Wars. You'll see us lean a lot into the Toei kind of stack with One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, Sailor Moon, Sonic, so you're going to see kind of all, and then the Paramount brands, so that's kind of a big focus for us, this upcoming year.
In 101 Dalmatians, the live, so obviously we all saw, or I hope we all saw the animated one back in the day, which is great. But I'm not going to lie, when I saw 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close, I think that's what made me like older women. Like, that was like, she was cute. I just, did you see the new one with Emma Stone?
Oh shit! Okay, wait, I'm getting text messages from the Figpin crew here.
Oh, what are they saying?
Okay, so this is Jason. Jason's running the line planning for Figpin, and he's like, okay, this is pretty exciting. Goku Quest. So let me go back and share my screen real quick to so you guys know what a quest is. Let me see here. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh shoot, I hit the wrong button. Let's see, cancel that. Share.
101 Dalmatians. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, the Emma Stone one was good. That was like, I didn't know where that was going, that story, and then it turned from one thing to another. I was like, it was so good. We're gonna add to stage. There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Let me see if it shows the packaging here. Okay, so we have a product format called Quest, and if you look, can you see my screen? Can you see all these Naruto fig pins up here?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't see a clear picture of it, but what Quest is think of a regular cased fig pin, right? Like the Dustin one I just showed. And then this orange Naruto here is a common. This is a glitter version of Naruto. This one is 275 pieces. Okay. This one is a gold and white version. This one's 25 pieces. And then this one over here, this was 1,500 pieces. So we played around with the Quest format and tried it without the case. We've tried doing different kind of like storytelling with like different scenes and that kind of a thing. But this year in 2026, we're going to go back to the cased version for Quest. We think it's the most collectible version, and we want to stay in that same kind of collector format. So you're going to see us kind of, so you'll see a Goku Quest come out. You'll see a Goofy Movie Quest come out. You'll see a Demon Slayer Quest come out. So think of those along with, the 101 Dalmatian Mystery. So that's Jason kind of tipping me off on, kind of the early things that you're going to see from Figpin in 2026.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Excited now. A lot of us are excited. All the Stranger Things. Yeah. So that was, this might be a little offensive, but I don't care. For the month of June, would you make things like how you had the glitter, like one of 275 for like during Gay Pride Month, would you be like, okay, everything's glitter, and then this way it's for the whatever you do release on that month, it's for 1 month only, and just see how it works? Or is that
yeah,
like
we've done we've done Gay Pride Month before for
really
for Disney. we had a whole series. Disney had a
Which
style
ones were
guide. Let me share my screen again. Jeez.
I'm sorry. So that,
Let's see.
well, I didn't know you guys did that. That is like, was there any like pushback with that? Did you see more people come in than drop off? Was there any people that dropped?
I didn't notice anything.
I feel like there would have been
I thought they're actually pretty cool pins, and actually they were very popular. Okay, so right here, see here, this unicorn. This was part of the the Pixar Pride. Then
Yeah.
then
That's cool.
Then you had the Stitch here.
Oh,
right?
Stitch had one. Okay.
And then you had Mickey.
They had a Pride
Here.
Mickey. How many of those are there? 250?
Yeah, 250 of this one. Let me see here. How many did we make of? There must have been 250. All of them 250. Let me see here. 250. Yeah, these were small releases. 250, 250, 200. They went really quick. I think they probably sold out in an hour.
How much were they?
They're $20. Directly on the site.
Yeah. So out of 250, I don't know why. Oh, was it just number 1694? But then it's out of the 250. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. And the only way to see like what the number is, you have to break it open and redeem it on the site, right?
Correct. So So and it's not really a site, not yet.
Well, the app.
It's an app, right? So for those of you that don't know, every Figpin has a unique serial number that's laser engraved on the metal piece, on the back of the metal piece, and then on the app, you can enter that code into the app and it'll give you data, on your Figpin, kind of the data that's showing up on Figpin DB, like, what edition it's run, how many were made. And he even went further and extracted like how many have been redeemed, how far away from cohort. So there's a whole like, there's a whole way to go in the app with that stuff.
So there's I assume you guys have a couple of things that you're doing with VeVe in 2026. VeVe Zombie is.
Yeah, I think that. David and I have been, sharing a lot of ideas, really exciting stuff. I think like, seeing this stuff come out, I think like it's going to blow people's minds, honestly. So I'm excited because, really the piece we've done really is, the Colonel Sanders. For those of you guys that don't remember, God, I'm trying to get there we go. Matter of fact, I texted Paul Toscano. Let's see if he, Paul,
is that for like the 1 of 50 or the 1 of 25?
Yeah. So when I first met David, actually, Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2024. And then I met him again at D23. And then we kind of fast track a program for New York Comic-Con with the Colonel Sanders. So the other part of that story is Paul, the chief technology officer at the time at KFC, was a big VeVe fan and a big Figpin fan. And I'm like, hey, we should try to do something together and do a Colonel Sanders, because we'd already built Colonel Sanders for him for an internal program. So the art was done, like the prototype was done, and it just kind of clicked into place. And so we did, of those pieces, we did 150 for Paul that were gold plated. And on the back of this, instead of this back, it had like more of like a message from Paul. It was kind of an internal kind of like gift item. But then Paul's no longer with KFC, so I don't know where those 150, Colonel Sanders are. If he has any, if they're sitting, in a closet at KFC headquarters, or whatnot. But I thought it'd be fun to come on here and give one away if he had one. So. Guys, I made the effort.
You don't give away.
I made the effort. I made the effort to see if we could get one. So if he texts us during the show, I'll let you guys know.
Because there's because I remember those were there are none on the app. So if you see that, or I'm sorry, there's one. Oh no, maybe there's not. I don't know why it says there's one in the market, but then when you look in the market, it's not there. Unless it's on Stacker. but that would probably do numbers because of the fact that there's just none out there. It's so scarce.
Yeah, it's fun to see. It's fun to see the activity of just the Colonel Sanders Figpin, on the VeVe platform. I feel like I'm working hard to kind of bring maybe a big anime into the fold. We'll see what happens, but it would be pretty exciting to to kind of see that in our own digital platform itself, because we've shared a lot of the same licensing. You see a lot more participation from anime and video games than you do in kind of more traditional brands, as far as like people participating digitally. So I think it could be very exciting to see what would happen on VeVe, with that.
So more anime stuff, not necessarily any comics right now.
If you go in here and you look at like just kind of the redemptions, within the Figpin app, and then you look at kind of what we have as kind of a dream list of wanted Figpins in the app, anime kind of dominates the setup in here. And I think maybe you get a little bit younger consumer, a little more techie, kind of thing. So
so there's a ton. How long do I have you for? Because I feel like there's a lot of questions and we're at 46 minutes, and I feel like I could go like hours, but
I'm having fun. This is fun.
Okay. Sweet.
Let's keep going.
So before I move on to the other stuff, what is I guess because the tariff, everything was like hard. You kind of have to be pick and choosy. Hey, we could do this where if we do a community vote-based release, where that would make sense because the community is telling you what they want, but you also have to see, okay, well, we're contracted to do X amount of drops for these guys. And we know this will sell. The community might say they want this, kind of like the Batman comics. Like a lot of people are like, why do you have like 3 different series of Batman out there? Because that sells. It's like, okay, well, why don't you have any new superheroes? Well, we try that and nobody buys them. And it's like, we just want to do the stuff that sells. What is the minimum amount of thing, or what's the minimum criteria that you need for somebody, for any license to get with you guys to go and say like, yeah, we can do that?
We used to be kind of rigid like that in the beginning. We've softened our stance a little bit, because I think there's this blend of like kind of doing a character here and there that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you're going to see Figpins from Return of the Living Dead. That's actually an introduction from David at VeVe to Evil Genius Games. You know what I mean? And so that wasn't a big quantity, but it was cool. It was a way to kind of partner up with another brand, a way to kind of bring something to the platform that we wouldn't have done otherwise. So in spots, we'll try things like that just to kind of see what can happen.
The reason I ask is because I was wondering how quickly daCat would have to sell out on VeVe with their comic book coming out in a few months. Where it's like, well, you sold out, but it took you 2 months to sell out. Probably not going to do it. Or, oh, you guys sold out in a week. Yeah, we could do something. I was wondering what in that realm of what that possibility of getting some daCat stuff over on the Figpin.
So would daCat come with like a VeVe digital twin?
Sure.
I don't.
If you would like, if you would like, I mean, we could do that. We could not do that. We could get a whatever. I feel like Apollo Creed, where it's like, look, man, whatever gets them in the ring, like whatever gets us on a Figpin, then we'll do it.
That's a great fit. Yeah, I mean, look, we can explore that. You know what I mean? I think there's things that we do here and there for things like this. I think the bread and butter of what we do is important. Like, time and resources are important, obviously. Trying to maximize, profits, and the business, side of it, right?
So there's some companies that have growing pains where it's like, we need to do this and it's growing, but we need to expend a lot of capital to do that. You have Funko that kind of did that. They exploded, but then they grew way too big and they haven't really made money for half a decade. They've been losing money. So you don't make that same mistake as you grow. Obviously, you don't want to grow too big too quickly, but are there any plans to expand Figpin? Jake Hoare is asking about pop-up shops.
I think for Figpin in 2026, it's about getting back to like great quality of selection of releases, great quality of pin art. You know, we've learned a lot and we've tried a lot of things, you know, over 8 years, but it really it's getting back to smart business, profitable business, and kind of nailing things that people really want, and nailing it in the quantities and being disciplined in margins and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit back to basics. You know, now with you know, kind of an awareness of what makes, you know, what makes for a great collectible, you know, in a Figpin, and what a fans really want, and kind of getting back to that. You know, when I see brick and mortar retail right now, I see a shrinking landscape, right? So you know, you look at GameStop, you know, I think they made an announcement of closing a number of stores. You see even Target and Walmart, who, you know, Figpins are back in Target and Walmart, which is exciting. But you see the shrinking kind of format, right? One of the announcements that came out that we made is we're going to make a big push into TikTok Shop, working with influencers, you know, kind of pushing in the live selling direction. I think I think the Whatnot show that VeVe did was really fun to watch, and I think they're onto something great there. So we're taking that same approach, right? And so we're just, you know, it's funny. It's like, you know, to get set up on TikTok Shop, I feel like, you know, I got to give them my social security number, my driver's license, you know, energy. You know, it's a process. But we teamed up with a company called Comtent, and the guy that owns Comtent, his name's Corey, and he ran the trading card category at GameStop, and then ran the collectibles business at TikTok. And so when you see what's happening in live selling, it just makes a lot of sense. And so we're putting together kind of our aggregate story of our products and brands, and now going out and making the pitch to the influencers to really spin up. You know, the power of like one viral TikTok video could be very exciting. I think there's a big story here to tell, right, with this type of product. You know, the VeVe Digital Twin. I think there's a big story to tell with, you know, this type of product. You know what I mean? Like these products, you know, kind of have story behind them, right? They have art behind them. They have craftsmanship behind them. They, you know, there's things to introduce, and I feel like that platform is, you know, really exciting. You know, kind of new way for us to start kind of leveraging what we've done here.
I think that so VeVe has Max and Janie that do the Whatnot stuff, and they're brilliant at it. And I think they get a decent amount of viewers too. And not everybody buys. Like there are clearly people that buy. They freaking crush it. Right. And then you have some people who just like, you know, why did my stuff come from like New York or from Texas or wherever? It's like, well, that's where it was, you know. But they have people that watch just because they're entertaining.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I chipped into the last episode, and they got like a great chemistry, you know, kind of a great vibe. They're passionate about it. You know, it was really fun to watch. You know,
I think that so they're like perfect for that because I think they get paid for it, and they genuinely love this stuff, and they love each other, and they're married, they're awesome people. Like they're just genuinely good people. I've had this idea for a while. I just don't have any inventory to do it. But do you remember that Hey Arnold episode where Gerald gets into selling watches, and they're like really good watches, but eventually he sells it to like everyone he owns or everyone he knows, and like then he runs out.
I missed that one.
It was so Hey Arnold's such a good show. Anyway, if I had the inventory like Gerald had the watches, I could, and I'm a decent salesman in general, but I could, if you get like a kid, like it's not really worth my time to say like, okay, let's do this, and I'm making like $20 an hour or whatever, or $30 an hour. But if you get like a kid, like 15, 18, 20 years old, whatever, that hasn't really done much yet, but let's say like Dark Magician Girl, and you get people that are just gonna be big fans of her, and then other people are just like, I don't know who she is, I'll save my money for the next one. But then he tells a story about how her master sacrificed himself. And you know, obviously became a dark magician, and then she eventually fulfills a promise to be a force for good. She becomes Dark Magician Girl, fulfilling that promise. I feel like when someone explains that lore, especially from like the eyes of a kid, someone's like, you know what? Heck it. It's like a kid going up to you, like they're like, "Hey, I'm selling these snow globes," and you just do it for the kid. Would you? So you're partnering with influencers. Is there any idea in your head that maybe, you know what, we could try what Randy's doing, or is that like too far? Like Randy's, there's work hours and laws that have to be observed, and we can't have kids be doing 12-hour shows.
Sorry, Randy, I kind of spaced out because I was getting pinged here. Hey, we should get back to some giveaways though. I mean, we still haven't given away the black one. You know what I mean? And I've got more Figpins around me. I've got a solo leveling one. This is a brand that we're really big on. Like, let's execute some giveaways, man.
All right, let's get this bread. We have, let's do black. I guess we do a random number generator, or we could do people wanting arcane. Arcane would be cool. Devil fruit minis. Okay.
Devil fruit minis, right? There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Now, 1 second. I'm going to do it in. Okay, everyone. Who is the Pirate King in One Piece? Whoever comments down below who the Pirate King is in One Piece, we will we'll do a giveaway for the black version. And then we wait a few seconds, and then so there is Gold D. Roger Escobar got it. He's getting the my man Escobar got it.
So Getty gets the white one.
Mm-hmm.
Escobar gets the black one.
Do you have Escobar's info as well?
I don't know. You know, we should probably figure out how to just make sure we get everybody's information so it's current, and we can get them the product. You know, what's the best method to do that?
I could just you guys can message me on X or Facebook, and then I'll just message me your address and stuff, and we'll get it to you. Millie's saying, Randy asked a 50-year-old if he watched Hey Arnold. Bro, Hey Arnold, it's still good. It's still good. Don't at me. Oh, Millie. Shout out to Ram Banana Orange for becoming a YouTube member. I forget the perks in which I give to the members, but you got it. Okay, so we did the Dustin giveaways, did the 2 One Piece giveaways. How many more we got?
Who got the Dustin giveaway? It was the Mew cat, right?
Yeah. I can scroll back and take a look.
All right, we should capture that information. Yeah. Okay, how about a solo leveling giveaway? Oh, this here was a 1 of 500 LE. Are you familiar with solo leveling, Randy? I
am not. Tell me about it.
Solo leveling is it's an anime from Crunchyroll. Actually, it's a Korean anime. I think it had 2 seasons. And Jason, if you're on here, ping me with any more information. But very popular, up and coming anime right now. So
I'll take that. Got that. Goofy need. Yeah. So the power line, not the power line, the Goofy movie. I'm hoping we get a power line Figpin there, because those are pretty great. We love power line stuff. Oh yeah. So there's we have
one anime of the year. Boom.
Epic. Okay, so for the app.
Yes, we were talking about that today. So just kind of a heads up on the app. The developer we're using on the app right now is stuck on one little issue that's preventing us from getting the verify thing up and running. So we're well aware of it. It's not being ignored. It's being, trying to be solved right now, as we go. We agree. Well, and so Randy, if you don't know what the verify feature is, let's say that I bought a Figpin, right? And I had it in my collection. Yeah, this is Broly from Dragon Ball. I had it in my collection, and you bought it. I put it on eBay, and you bought it, right? Mm-hmm. And so say this Figpin comes over to you now, right? But all the digital details are in my app. So if you get it and enter the serial number, but the serial number's in my app, it'll say verify this pin. And so then what you'll do is you'll take a little video of it front and back, and then that breaks apart into 9 pieces. And then that like crowdsources to the community authorized people. And if they all check the boxes for like serial number, what pin it is, and I believe timestamp, then the digital information transfers from my account to your account. And that's what we call video verification. Okay.
Another thing was we had someone ask about the ultras that I guess were really popular. The ultras that we saw a bunch of them, I think, over the last couple of years, but they've been, I guess, sporadic. Have people seem to like those? Were they not selling that well, or was it like more of a niche product?
So the ultras started as an app, kind of thing, right? So let's imagine you're a Figpin collector, and you've been in the app logging your Figpins and kind of building Figpin power. So every Figpin, when you unlock it, basically has a factory score and a story score, and then that combined score is like a power number. And then over time, with the story score, the longer it's in your collection, the more people that unlock this pin, that number gets bigger. And so your pin can kind of grow in that strength over time. What we did with the ultras is we said, hey, if you're a collector that has 20 unlocks and you have like, let's say 200,000 Figpin power in your collection, then you're going to be able to qualify to buy this ultra. So ultra is like kind of like a more deluxe Figpin made of copper. They're black and gold. They came with a companion piece of a metal stand and a companion little Figpin. Super nice box. Matter of fact, I'll share my screen. We can go back and take a look. For those of you guys that don't know, let me see. We'll go back to our friends at Figpin DB. They do a nice job here.
Okay. There we go.
The first one was actually Batman. No, the first one was actually Darth Vader. Sorry, the first one was Darth Vader. So let's see. If I go to Star Wars: A New Hope. So this is maybe not a great. No, that one isn't it. It's not the Ultra. Where is it? He's got to have the Ultras in here. Let me see here. Here we go. Figpin Ultra. Okay, so these are the Ultras, right? So this is kind of the first one right here. Was it all black and gold? Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes up here. So this was the requirements, right? 350,000 collection power, 2,000 collector score, 20 originally unlocked Figpins, struck in 3 mm. So it's a little bit thicker. Deep black enamel with gold-plated finish. Every Figpin Ultra comes with a new Figpin app badge pin and a solid metal Ultra power base. And then those components all had, kind of more power up that happened in the app. So it came with like digital perks, and it also came with like this extra kind of, deluxe, Figpin setup. So if I go back, so this is kind of where we've stopped so far in the Ultra. So Darth Vader, and then Altair, and then Magical Mickey, and then Batman, and then Dark Magician. So yes, there's room to keep going in the Ultras. I think there's a little bit of cleanup to do in the app, to kind of continue that. But that was the original classic Figpin Ultra. For the mystery minis, we have a redemption Ultras. And so if I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Go back to this. StreamYard. I go back to like the Dragon Ball, right? Here.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I love my Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see here's the Ultra. So if I collect all of these except the hyper rare, then basically I can redeem for like 1 of 100 Ultra right here. If you scan this QR, it'll give you a little menu of kind of like, what it all means, kind of thing.
There's Jay Cora says that he misses the frequent releases. Is there any way to make it so that you can cut costs and then increase those releases and make them? And it seems like he doesn't care what he has to pay. He just wants to keep on buying.
Yeah, you know, that's the magic question, right? Like, it's a fine balance of like producing and not overproducing.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with mystery minis is when we make these, you know, we make them with a, you know, with a pre-sale sheet, and we take orders and we distribute. So we're not left with a lot of inventory, right? The inventory is pretty light. With Figpin Classic, it's really kind of graduated more into a direct-to-consumer type of product at this point. You don't really see them sold like in stores. When we have them in stores, it's a little bit tougher because they don't get displayed very nicely. They kind of, you know what I mean? These are beautiful pieces, but you might find them kind of knocked over, you know, at a Target section and not really like shown the love that the kind of collectible it is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of lend to smaller kind of quantities. When in 2023, we made, I think, 650 odd fig pins, and it just led to too much bloat of inventory.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get that right. If you're not distributed, you know, across retail, and you're not taking pre-orders, and all of a sudden you're buying and then holding that inventory and trying to sell from a direct-to-consumer standpoint, but you got a whole warehouse of product. You know what I mean? It's a tricky business situation, right? So then you get stuck with product. You know, you might want to try discount it to get rid of it and get money back into the company. Then it becomes less collectible. So it's you know, you ask a really interesting question. Can you make enough to get back to number of releases? There's probably an answer in there somewhere, but it has to make business sense, right?
Yeah.
The scale of that work, the scale of the infrastructure and the overhead, it has to work to make sense, you know?
Do you remember when Dell came out?
Dell?
Yeah, like, dude, you're getting a Dell.
Oh, the computer company?
Yeah.
Was it 1984 then it came out?
Okay, maybe I misasked that question. Do you remember when you could build your own computer?
Yeah.
Where they like, okay, so instead of going to a store, you like make your own computer and then they ship it to you.
Okay, sure.
As far as direct to consumer, would they, and it goes back to the voting thing, maybe like a competition, like kind of build your own, have like 10, like 100 people say like, hey, here's what we would want, have people vote on it, and then whoever, you could say like, you can get these Figpin credits, you put in, you know, like $100, whatever, and you get these 100 credits, and then you can buy or virtually buy all of these things. But you could put your something, let's say, to a Cruella NFT that, or a Cruella Figpin, but it only has like 3 other people that's going to buy it. So you get refunded those credits, and then it only goes to when you get to like 100 or 250 of them. Once it hits that, then it goes directly to the consumer. And this way, like the Figpin credits, like you take money in, it goes to the credits, and then the credits can only be used for other Figpin stuff. You'll never waste them, because if you bid on something or you want to order something and it doesn't get voted into enough places where it can place all those orders, then you just get those credits back. This might not work. This has probably already been tried already, but
kind
I
of
feel
funny.
like
We talked about an idea like this years ago, about almost having like little gray boxes. You know what I mean? Of you take like, let's say, a style guide worth of art and kind of gray out the boxes and let people vote. You know,
yeah.
which one gets brought to life and manufactured. You know, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's an idea that we should have pursued. It was talked about, something we never acted on. But I think, you know, it's not from lack of like trying, you know, or effort. I think it's just kind of finding that sweet spot, you know, of, you know, where do you find the rhythm to do it? I think the live selling thing is really interesting to me. You know, if you can get the reach of a TikTok audience, the reach of several influencers, you know, the right kind of viralness to it, you know, something to spark, you know. You know,
if there's so there's a buddy of mine where his friend and his kid, this was a Super Bowl, I think 2025, where Doritos did a thing like saying like, hey, submit your best 30-second Doritos commercial, and if you win, we'll give you like $1 million and your commercial gets to be in the Super Bowl. And they did. They won. So this way they received a whole bunch of competitions, and I wanted them to do this with VeVe, but maybe you could do this with Figpin. Say like, give us your best 30-second to 1-minute video of why you like Figpins. Be as silly or crazy or as boring as you want. Post it to all these social where you can make it hashtag Figpin Collectors Challenge, whatever. And the top 5 will receive, you know, like $100 or $150 in Figpin credit that you could then use.
That's a fun idea. I like that idea.
Because then this way, even if there's like 30 great videos and you pick the top 5, you still get so much more content. It makes the people do the content for you. You don't have to reach out to anyone. Also, 2023, you had mentioned that was the year that you happened to have a lot more supply and a lot of blow. Like, did that continue to happen over the years? And if so, how much supply do you think you have, like monetarily wise? Like, could you could you be like, yeah, we have like 100K worth of stuff here that we could liquidate at any time, and we could do something crazy?
Yeah, I mean, look, not all Figpins. It's hard to be perfect buying, right? Like, you know, the interesting move to mystery, you know, in the collectibles business, I can understand why. I mean, if you look at Funko's business, or you look at kind of the original Figpin business, and you're trying to run that business in retail, right, brick and mortar retail, there's only, like, let's take DC Comics, right? There's only so many Batman. You know what I mean? So Batman's, you know, a character that belongs in a Walmart, right? But let's say that you get to like a Poison Ivy, you know, it's a little more niche, right? Like, so, or let's take Star Wars as a better example. This was Mandalorian, and you had, was it IG-11 or IG-33? I can't remember the name of the skinny tall robot, you know, kind of character. But you know, you would kind of like plan out a section, and Mandalorian goes, Grogu goes, you know, but you know, the kind of, then, like, you know, you get to B and C characters, they kind of sit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. And so, you know, when you're trying to create like a collectible line with a lot of, like, you know, people to kind of go deep and kind of go deeper into those collections, that's the challenge, right? Or you make Marvel characters for a movie, and the Marvel movie was kind of soft, you know what I mean, and not great. Then you've kind of stacked up with, you know, those Marvel characters. And so, you know, with, you know, a number of releases over time, you know, those things just start to kind of add up and start filling up your warehouse, you know, with things that, you know, aren't moving in the right way, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
So then you come to a mystery product, and the difference is you're building the whole story in a set, you know, kind of thing. So this is a much easier way to buy, you know, and kind of plan, you know, this business. So I think that's why you're seeing that, you know, with a lot of the collectibles now going kind of blind, you know.
So there was I tried to find the meme. I couldn't. People want VeggieTales, but do you guys have a license for VeggieTales?
For VeggieTales? No.
I feel like I don't know why, but some of their memes are viral, and there's one where this like pickle and like a tomato, they're driving these like little vegetable kids somewhere, and the meme is just like, do you guys want to meet Jesus? And they're like, yeah. And then you see like the next panel is like they're driving off a cliff. And that's only, I tried to find it. Yeah, I'm sorry for anyone that likes VeggieTales. Yeah, we'd like Lord of the Rings as well. It was good. We're like a half hour behind on these comments. Fear and Figpin someday. Year of Phygital. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Phygital's coming in a big way. You know, yeah. I see it from a number of places, you know.
Do you know anything about Next Exit and Love X Hate? Because I do not.
Oh, Next Exit and Love Hate. Next Exit and Love Hate was a little collab between two of the founders of Figpin, Eric Haldy and Amada Bator. You know, that did a line of kind of independent style pins, beautiful pins. You know, ones were kind of in the style of Dragon Ball around a holiday theme, and there were these other really cool kind of like light up sign, you know, type of style pins, you know, kind of thing. So yeah.
So someone that I don't know if anyone realizes how difficult it is to get the Pokemon license for anything. Have you had conversations with Pokemon? Have you tried to?
We've approached Pokemon. Well, you know, Russ on the team, right? The new chief operating officer came from Pokemon, right? Aside from that, I've got a couple people that one person used to work for me that works at Pokemon in merchandise. Another one designer I used to contract to is a director over there at the Pokemon Center. I've talked to licensing people at Pokemon, but you know, they're doing their own pins. You know, they have their own pin program that they used to do in the TCG. They would do kind of the blister packs with pins packed in, or the boxes with pins packed in as part of their program. And probably more recently, it's been more of Pokemon Center, you know, style kind of releases and that kind of thing. There's been discussions about, like, you know, doing something in Pokemon. They're planned way out at Pokemon Center. Like, if we fired up that conversation again, it'd be like a 2028 type release, you know, with those guys.
Yeah. I had told David, I was like, bro, if you get Pokemon, I'll break up with my girl, and I will not see my girl for like a month. I won't fly her out, and I'll just spend that money on buying Pokemon NFTs or Pokemon Figpin. It's that serious. Oh, Millie is asking, Figpin SVV fam Fusion community hangout has a nice ring to it. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, look, we're super excited about Fusion. You know, that's a big project that Eric, you know, the original Figpin artist, you know, over is kind of leading, you know, from a creative side internally. So we're super excited about, you know, what this is going to be. Everyone that's seen it wants it. So it's not from a lack of interest. And so and we think like it's a perfect digital type of item, you know. So yeah, really excited about where we're going to go with this.
Hell yeah. So when you were showing the Dragon Ball Z stuff, if you get all of the things in the set, you can get like the ultra rare that's 1 of 100. How hard is it to do that? How many people have claimed that?
That's a great question. Jason, I don't know if you're still watching, if you have any idea if we have any stats on that.
Apparently, David, you might be popping up on the next Whatnot to rip Marvel blind bags of the community.
That's cool. Right on.
Yeah, love that. People are not liking the influencer idea. They think that, I mean, again, there's 2 people, Baba Yaga and so Baba Yaga said before that he knows why there's not a lot of or no KFC fig pins out there, but he didn't say why. Maybe he's just teasing us. Baba Yaga.
Well, you might know something we don't know, right? I think as a brand, we're trying to find a way to kind of reach a bigger audience, right? And a bigger kind of awareness track, you know? So we know that live selling and, you know, obviously what Max and Janie are doing, that works, right? So how do we force multiply, you know, that kind of an idea, you know?
Yeah. For the next giveaway, what do you got?
How about if we do this Broly?
Oh, Broly. Okay. So there's 151 people here between YouTube and X.
By the way, Jason chimed in. 48 out of 100 of the Dragon Ball Ultras Gold Shenrons have been redeemed on the mystery set.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 151, and it's going to whoever comments whoever comments down below what the number is. I might have to lower it because I feel like I'll make it between 1 and 100 instead. Between 1 and 100. Whoever comments the number will get it. It is not 69, but that was a good guess. It was not. Somebody said Mew. No, it's not. Some people are close here. Some people are close, but I have not seen it yet. It is again between 1 and 100 now. It is It is not the 1. It is not 100. So it's technically between 2 and 99. It is not 2. So it's technically between 3 and 99. It's between 10 and 50. It is between 10. We got people that are close. They're close. But also I feel like people are very close. But I am. Oh my God, Mr. MC1 got it. It's 22. I'm using Pharaoh Pharaoh is in my most recent Pokemon playthrough.
Yeah, there you go.
So I chose number 22 because that's Pharaoh in the original Pokedex. So Mr. MC1 got it. Get that,
Mr.
Brett.
MC1 got a Broly coming your way.
He got one. We didn't have to do Indian mythology. We got oh God, where were we beforehand? All right, I think we're fine. Hey, Gold Ranger. Hey, Gold Member. Okay, cool. No, it wasn't only questions about One Piece. We just did a random number guess. We'll do other trivia later. Hello, everyone. Stoop Kid's gonna leave. Oh, well, actually, it's Stoop Kid's afraid to leave the stoop. That was the one. Anyway, there's more stuff. Matthew Lambs met Dan at New York Comic Con, but didn't know he was involved in Figpin. We love Lambs. Were you at the Gold Logo party? Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was.
Okay. So he's the one that I don't know if I have it here. Did you see me get like Ric Flair chopped, like smacked?
No, I don't think so. No.
He gave me a chest chop. He just and then we wooed it. We Ric Flair wooed it afterwards.
Okay, nice. Great. We made a Ric Flair Figpin. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
How many of those were there?
Well, let me share my screen again.
All right, Ric Flair, Figpin. I cannot spell apparently. Figpinula. The Nature Boy. Oh, you can get. All right, so it's number 33, but how many of them?
Let's see here.
Oh, we did Macho Man Randy Savage too. Oh, and Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, here the woo. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, so this was mid 2017. 1,596, and he actually had glitter on that robe.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, the Macho Man. This gold and white John Cena's really rare. Only 28 of him were made.
Damn.
Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Randy, Macho Man. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun, the WWE stuff,
Matthew Lamb saying, what would it take to have the entire Figpin collection each to have a VeVe digital collectible counterpart? I feel like that would be
okay. So this is something kind of really interesting. I've been talking about this with my team. Okay, yeah, right. And actually, we talked to David about this too. So actually, this could be really interesting. So I've gotten these logo pins here, right? I've gotten 2 kind of batches of logo pins. And so we want to do an experiment where we've got all the serial numbers for all of these, and we've got the art set up so they can become digital collectibles on VeVe. So let's say we make digital collectibles of these logo pins on the VeVe platform. Then we could basically drop the redemption codes into the serial numbers in the fig pins. So think about fig pins that already exist. So this is an experiment to see how it would work. So think about a Sonic the Hedgehog, that we dropped, let's say in 2021, and we team up and have the Sonic license to do VeVe digital twins. We could reverse activate into these fig pins that are already out there living and drop VeVe digital collectibles into those serial numbers. So it could show up on a story card. You could redeem it then into the platform. So I don't know. I just think it's something super exciting because, since 2017, we've serial numbered every single one uniquely.
Yeah.
And so you could play with rarities on it. You could play with chases on it. I mean, there's like a whole second digital life that we could kind of like, elevate this whole thing with, that I think is very exciting. So I purposely brought these because we've got these kind of queued up as a working project to experiment with this to see what's possible. And then you would do something like, let's say that let's just say we launch a one-piece Figpin with a digital twin, right? And it's a brand new product. But then we could go back within that same contract and drop the digital twin into, let's say, the 109 one-piece Figpins styles that exist out there, right? So people now, they go back to their self-havoc, go back on the story card and get the VeVe digital twin. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, think about that. How cool is that, right? Like the second life of these Figpins that could then populate on VeVe's platform. I think would be so cool,
So I just freaked out on Twitter because so this was like 3 years ago. I bring Dave, actually like almost 4 years ago now. Yeah, it's 4 years ago. Jesus Christ, 2026. I bring David so much alpha. I need a drink. I bring David like, hey, my guy knows the former president of Sega, and we know the ambassador to whatever country that was, and we like anytime you want Sonic, let us know. And he was just like, well, we have like a bunch of stuff coming out, but keep me posted, like keep reminding me of that every couple months, like no problem. Kept following up every couple months, and then eventually I was like, do you like not want Sonic? Like, why do you hate Sonic? And then he's just like, listen, we like, I guess a bunch of other companies out there are still like not comfortable with like Web3 and NFTs. Like they're just
it's true, because we've had these conversations, and when it comes to certain licensors, they don't want to be first. Some are kind of more pioneering, but I think you're starting to slowly see people come along, right? Like this digital thing is coming, and things like Sonic, things like One Piece, things like those things are going to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited about what's possible, because we've seen already a glimpse of a small little snapshot of Colonel Sanders, right? And imagine what that could be like, on a much bigger scale with VeVe digital twins going into Figpins, And I think this one, it starts at ground zero, what we could do.
Oh yeah. Mr. MC1 has a bunch of Figpin logo pins. Would you consider tiers of collectors based on points a greater reward system to make collecting more than just bragging rights and the 1 year ultra?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have talked about that.
That's basically,
no, it's not. It's really kind of recognizing and perking, really kind of loyalty, right, and kind of tearing it out and making it fun.
Is there a pure gold Figpin? Probably not. That'd be expensive, right?
Like a 24 karat? No, nothing. Sorry, Mr. MC1. We haven't done that yet, man. Maybe someday,
One day. I guess there's what is the most warranted, or what is the most requested collection that people want to have finished? Like I'm guessing what he means is like, hey, we have these characters and we'll do the other set of characters people like at a certain time.
Good question. That's a good question. Actually, you know what, Jason, I'll throw that back to you if you're still listening. What do you think of that question? I think probably one of the kind of early sets that people kind of really still talk about is Assassin's Creed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So in the first release of Assassin's Creed, and I'll share my screen again real quick.
The Figpin Fusion product samples are 350 plus on eBay. Damn.
Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back.
Kosh wants some Figpins to replace his brooches on his suits. I think it'll look cool, Kosh.
Okay, so Assassin's Creed. This was the original set. So it started with Altair over here on the right. And then you had Ezio. And then you had Connor. And then you had Edward. And then you had Aguilar from the movie. And then we dropped in a 1 of 100 black and white Ezio. And we dropped in a 1 of 10 gold and white Altair. So if you had all these, you would complete that line. But like, I mean, the one of 10 is still kind of talked about as maybe one of the most sought after kind of dream fig pins. 7 of them went to GameStop. I know that, and 3 of them went other places. We had one at a kind of a pop-up pin show that a guy bought. So we know where one went. Reportedly in Silverdale, Washington, there was a white and gold version in a GameStop. The guy went back the next day and it was gone. So who knows what happened to that one? But things are living out in the wild, man. It's collectibles for you, right? Like, kind of thing. So.
So 2 questions here from one is Gundam or Jujutsu Kaisen? Which one is most likely to get any more of?
I would definitely say JJK.
Okay.
Over Gundam.
Sorry, Stephen. Gundam is looks like it's way back burner there, but Jujutsu Kaisen is.
You never say never. I would just say that we had more commercial success with JJK than we did with Gundam. Yeah.
Oh, Chainsaw Man. Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw. I can see Chainsaw Man making a comeback too.
Yeah. NFC. No. Yeah. All these NFCs would be great, bro. If we can get Sonic, oh my God, I would. Freaking love Sonic. I don't have him on me yet. He's not currently on my body.
Okay, but Sonic has a big fan base for sure. Yeah, we see that. Matter of fact, the Sonic mystery pins are great sellers, and for sure.
I remember when like Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out, and you had like the subspace emissary story, and then it's just like all these characters getting this epic story. Then Sonic, finally, my boy Sonic gets in Super Smash Brothers. That was so great.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We're working on a Sonic project right now on the card side that we're excited about. I could see Sonic. I could see that being possible. Honestly, we'll see.
Akash saying so many Figpin. Yeah, there's I don't know how many's on YouTube, how many's on X, but it's 180 total. We need that necklace accessory where you can wear your Figpins. Is that designed?
I think what there's a pin backer. So see if there's one in here. Okay, so this one has it. So you guys.
Oh, Millie says, "Hey, Figpin fan in chat, welcome to the VeVe fan."
Okay, so on this Dustin Figpin right here, you'll see that it was made with a little loop right here.
Yeah.
So you can kind of run a chain through it and kind of hang them off a chain. You know what I mean? This little backer. Or off a keychain or something.
Nice. Mystery. Oh, some people not liking the mystery boxes. O'Milly defending here, saying harsh to call them a scam. Some people love them. Yeah, I love them. I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, like that's what they're used to. Like I feel like a lot of kids with the blind boxes of what you get at Comic-Con versus the loot crates, what you get on
these ones right here. Like these are a scam, or I would say these commercially have been very successful.
Yeah, like so I feel like that's, and maybe this is just my younger millennial side talking, but I feel like it's some of the older heads, where even he says us older collectors maybe don't like the mystery pins, and people saying that it's scam. But like you said, if it sells, and again, a lot of the younger people, where the future of collecting is probably going to skew a little bit younger.
Yeah, look, and we got a lot of comments when the mysteries kind of first came out, right? And it was a big thing internally, at the company to kind of take that leap and do it, because you get used to going a certain direction and kind of like what you stand for. But the market was going into mystery product. I mean, just look at the market, right? If you at that time, if you would have talked to retail, what's hot, mystery was booming. Right. So when you think about it from the business standpoint, you have to make a certain amount of product to kind of hit like, a profitability level. So you kind of like skate to where the puck is to a little bit. But look, we're not abandoning, this. So we're doing both. Right. And we're trying to kind of like dial it in where there's a good mix of the right products for the right channels and maximize the efficiency of the business,
Yeah. Are you guys working on Blizzard store pins, the non-fig pins?
We are working with Blizzard, so you'll see stuff come out.
Sailor Moon. So yeah, Sailor Moon's a big favorite. We're hoping to get them on VeVe. Have you ever seen any of the Dragon?
Incoming from Jason. More X-Men 97 are coming.
Oh, let's go! Let's go! That's. Did you see the Doomsday trailer?
No, I don't think I did actually.
Oh, it's so good. Oh God, it got me. I can't even say the next words because it would make this completely NSFW. Got me pumped. I'll say that.
Nice.
It was so cool. Anyway, so they in that trailer they have kind of something from like X-Men 97. They have Scott, so they have a bunch of comic accurate stuff in there. A bunch of really cool. TikTok influencer marketing is a dry different thing. It was a lot of an update on the app. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Okay, we're still, what is this? Still like 18 minutes behind on comments. We're going back on the numbers because that was insane. I should have made it between like 1 and 50 because having it between 1 and 100 people were guessing such craziness. Scrolling through. All right, so while I'm scrolling through this, there's kind of a question about the fidgels, and I know we talked about that a little bit before. Eventually, when fidgels kind of take over, will you ever go back to and only like, no, this is for our physical collectors only, and we're only doing a physical for this one? Or is it like, why would we ever do that when you can just get two things for the price of one?
I mean, look, we started serial numbering right away, right?
Yeah.
I think there was a belief that, I'll tip my hat to Amato on this. The idea of the serial numbering was really smart and ahead of its time. And, I agreed with him. I'm like, we should do it. And so we did it, right? We made it, you had to create a database. You had to there was extra paperwork, coordination to kind of go into it. But we believed in, there's something valuable here. We don't know what it is. When we did it, we didn't know what it was going to be. So, we started serial numbering those fig pins from the beginning with the idea that we would do something digital with it later. And then that was the birth of the app in 2018, April. And, and there was a journey and a lot of things kind of went into that digital experience over time. A lot of good things, some things that didn't stick, some things that, maybe didn't work. As we get deeper into it, it's also like, how do you, it becomes a cost center, right? That's not built into your kind of unit economics, with the digital side of it. You know what I mean? So now when you get to something like, working with a platform like VeVe, where you could reverse digital twins into the, now it makes sense, now that infrastructure that's laid, it makes sense,
David Pineda is asking, like, hey, is it possible to ever see you at New York, San Diego? And Mr. MC1 cutting right to it is like, that is an absolute must at the VeVe logo party. Where
Definitely.
if you don't want to go to the VeVe logo party because it costs like $5,000 for a logo, you can definitely see you were definitely at New York this year. Were you at San Diego?
San Diego this year I wasn't. It was my 30th year wedding anniversary. I was in Europe at that time with my wife. So just kind of a little. So I miss San Diego Comic Con this year, But look, we have a very exciting San Diego Comic Con in 2026. Actually, it'll be our biggest ever. Which is very cool.
Oh, that's so cool. What's Alliance Fest?
Alliance Fest. That is kind of more of a Figpin thing that we've done in the past. Or a Comic-Con after party. Alliance Fest is 3 different retailers that would come together and do kind of a party at San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
And then kind of like, we do exclusives for them and special giveaways and that kind of thing. So we'll definitely be doing something to kind of activate the community again around Comic-Con. I think Comic-Con for us will be like I said, it'll be big this year. So definitely try and put something together.
Copy that. Everyone's saying hello. Delicious in dungeon Figpins.
Hey,
Not
Derek.
even which WWE? Yeah, WWE would be dope. Do you guys still have that license?
No, we don't.
Ah, damn, that's rough. Tell me about this. Yeah, we're going. Actually, we're still 15 minutes behind. Damn. I want the big, like 4 times the normal size VeVe Heart Gold pin.
We could do that. Do a big VeVe logo XL heart XL pin.
Yeah. Did you guys ever? Well, I guess these are for the gold logo holes, but did you guys have any extras that you had?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I feel like probably not with that. With aside from KFC, do you guys have any other, whether it's the Yum brands or any fast food in general? I personally like Taco Bell, McDonald's, but do you guys have?
We haven't. KFC so far has been our only kind of food thing that I can think of. You know.
Yeah. Oh, would you guys do a Valentine's Day logo?
We've done Valentine's Day logos before. Yeah. Matter of fact, if you go back into the Figpin DB, there's different for sure Valentine's Day logo pins. You know.
Sweet.
And we've done Valentine's Day releases too.
Gotcha. So Coder VeVe is an app with, we share some of the same licenses, just high-end digital collectibles. So generally with VeVe, there's no physical things attached, but it's really nice to partner with Figpin where, like, I haven't been a physical collector in a couple of years, ever since Pokemon, but it's really nice to get some physical stuff back in the house again. And so that's really nice. One of the things, like, I don't know if we can do that. Dashi has been with me for about, almost 9 years now, and we'll talk after we see if we can get daCat to make you some money, and then we'll talk about a Dashi Figpin. Wild story. Dragon Ball would be great. Pure Silver one. Kingdom Hearts, yes. Oh, Watch Dogs would be cool. So is there any, or how many, I guess, new never before seen licenses what do you have planned for 20? You don't have to say which ones they are, but just like, yeah, we got like 2 or 3, or it's like, well, we have one.
I don't know if we're going to see that many new licenses, but you're definitely going to see new pins from kind of existing licenses. I would say
that's fair. That's fair. Mr. Box on 300. 30, yeah. That's the beauty of the mystery box. It's you live by the luck, you die by the luck. Future of Figpin minis.
Bright future of Figpin minis.
Sweet. Have you ever seen those TikToks? It's like it's like an easy bake oven, or it's like a little mini stove, and this guy pours a little tiny batter, a little tiny whatever, and he makes a little tiny pancake and like bacon for like his like hamster.
Yeah.
How tiny are these minis? How many are they?
No, minis are just, this we call this a mini, right?
Okay, gotcha.
So think like 1.5 inch to 2 inch, in size.
Yeah.
And there's mystery minis, or there's just like open box minis, right? Okay. So if I have like a Stitch, it's just smaller, kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha. Have you seen people with any Figpin tattoos?
God, there was one guy that had a Figpin tattoo, I think on his leg.
Oh, that's dope.
That was a while ago. I haven't seen any since then.
I've had conversation. So this one is like is my IP. So like, of course, like I got it.
Wow, that's nice. Hey, who did the art on daCat?
On the comic or my tattoo?
On the comic.
On the comic, it's this guy DeKingsley. He's a big artist out of well, he's from London, but he's in like Norway or something, one of those Baltic states over there. And he's an award-winning artist, but he's an award-winning artist from like 20 plus years ago, which is still great. But he just hadn't done it in a while, and I had never written a comic book before, so there was some back and forth where we're just like, actually, I can do. Oh, can't show that. Okay, so I can show you some of the comic here, which is personal copy. Oh gosh.
Yeah, the Figpin fans might not know, Randy, that you're kind of launching your own brand here, and your own
Yeah, this is the boring stuff. I want to get to the. Let me get to where. Yeah. I get to where people are getting decapitated. We get a little we get a little hardcore in this. We get a little racy in this too. The artist just took liberties on making certain characters voluptuous. I gave no descriptions on that. He just took that personal liberty and it just ran with it. Also, be advised, it's going to be like 85 pages.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's going to be wild. There's a bunch of different animals. I won't give away a bunch of this stuff, but there's frogs, there's cats. Oh god, that's the script. Oh gosh. There's more cats. There's gophers. There's dogs. There's aliens, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. But anyway, the art's incredible. Overwatch exclusive cover. It's me to my X-Men. Scarcest Figpin you have, or scarcest one that's been in circulation for the last 2 years?
Scarcest Figpin's been in circulation for the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that's a good question. Over the last 2 years, honestly, I'm not sure. I know that the 1 of 10 Altair is probably the most scarce.
Okay. You know? Yeah, the app is definitely available on Android. I've definitely downloaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm part of the fam. Read Marvel. Already part of the Marvel group. Oh, do you have the Marvel logo?
Yeah, I got 10 of them.
Oh, all right, dope. Yeah, Mr. Okay. That Mr. MC1 that may or may not exist. Okay, I have to preface this by saying that my couple girlfriends ago, she had, because she liked anime and her kids liked anime, and she's like, hey babe, like, have you ever seen Madoka Magica? I was like, no, but I'm always curious, and she watched it with me, and I was like, okay, babe, if you weren't here to watch this with me, like, this is like the first episode or two, I was like, this is a little weird because it's kind of like middle school girls that are in these, like, they're fighting. There's a story to it. But then, like, around the 5th or 6th episode, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, it might crack the top 10 of like best animes that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot. Have you seen any of it?
No.
You got to watch it like with your wife, because it's a little weird if it's like a grown dude like watching.
I haven't watched that much anime, but this year I really got into Hunter x Hunter. You watch that anime?
Hunter x Hunter. I've seen a bunch of clips. I haven't watched it all the way through though.
So I really enjoyed that. Demon Slayer is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I saw the question in the chat. Yeah, there are definitely more Demon Slayer Figpins coming. So we're excited. We got some really exciting stuff with Demon Slayer developing right now. So that's gonna be a big focus for us this year as well.
Yeah, but Madoka Magica is definitely a fun one. And Cowboy Bebop, obviously, an oldie but goodie. Happy 30th anniversary from Saloni Econ.
Thank you.
Do a big VeVe gold.
Oh, that's fun. That's a good idea, actually.
Is it like how much? But like, how much would you really make on that? Like, because you'd have to be limited to a certain amount, right?
Well, again, like, it depends, right?
Yeah.
Like we did a big Figpin logo pin. Boy, matter of fact, if I went back to I wonder if it's in here. It was kind of like, about this size. You could see a doing a big VeVe one, doing like a Figpin XL of a VeVe logo pin. Silver and gold.
The old ones, I know you said you have none. Akash says that if you had any of them extra, they would sell it immediately. But also, if you did have any, I don't think I've seen any of the unopened ones sell below 500. One even went up to $1,000. It got sold for. So if you had any of them, you could like a couple $100s, and people would go and buy them. Because I think the lowest I've ever seen was 500, and I've had a couple offers for this. I don't know. I only have one because I got a couple, but one I opened and I redeemed, and it was cool.
we should do another run in glitter them. So you do like a series 2.
Ooh.
Actually, show me that one again, Randy. What color plating is that? Was that silver? We could do a gold plating. Do a gold plating of that. You could do. We can kind of keep varianting that. We could do glow in the dark on the white. I don't know. It could be really fun. you know?
Yeah. One sec. Okay, sorry. With the girl, wasn't sure if she needed something. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so I would like to have an glitter unopened twin of that, or a partner.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be dope. Okay, so if anyone has, so this is what I like about, so there's two Facebook pages. There's just the normal Figpin page thing that has like 11,000 followers, and then a Figpin like fans trader page where everyone's like want to buy, want to sell, want to trade, and they have that. So that's what keeps the spirit of collecting alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
Yeah, can't wait. Demon Slayer ones. Randy hopping in late. Your schedule has been my schedule? Oh yeah, it's been insane. I've had a lot of busy couple of weeks here. Had new shows starting and all that. I'm not sure what Usopp is.
That's a One Piece character.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Jay Thomas had the tattoo with Figpin.
Okay.
Nice. Evangelion.
Evangelion pins from the movies. We made a series of Evangelion pins.
No, so it would be cool. Oh my God, Mr. Armstrong has 5 of those. It's insane. Make it digital. Okay, so the minis, is that the same? That's not the same as verification, right?
So, oh yeah, I see what they're saying. So yes, the minis had different. We tweaked around with the way the AP the data showed up on some of the minis. So that'll be kind of a TBD how we go forward with that. You know.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, we're gearing up on, or coming up on 2 hours here. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we have not yet?
I don't think so, Randy. I think this is fun. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it. You know.
Yeah, of course. Let's talk a little bit off camera. Just to catch a bit off that. Everyone, thank you all for coming. The 216 people that are here. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you. And